So happy game week again, Tiger fans. After last week getting a week off to sit back and enjoy some college football, it is time to get back to it. I am Zach Lynch, your host on Pop Talk. Joined as always by the recruiting guru, the man with all the inside knowledge, Jason Priester. Jason, it seems like it has been like forever since we got to do this. Last week, we had a great show. Sometimes you just need to reset, and that is exactly what the Tigers did this past weekend. Hopefully got some of the kinks worked out. Because look, the fact is, they're still very much in the ACC title race because of Louisville losing to Pitt. I mean, who saw that coming?
Yeah, I certainly didn't. That is the one thing Louisville could not do is go up there to lose to that bad Pitt team. Exactly what happened. But yeah, Clemson definitely. I think the bye week came at a good time for this Clemson team coming off that inexplicable offensive performance against Wake Forest. I think this was the perfect or the opportune time to kind of reset, do some self scouting. See some of the things you do well, see some of the things you aren't doing quite as well, and try to put a good game plan to go out and win these games the second half of the season.
Yeah. Also, to get guys healthy, I mean, this team has not been healthy since the first week of the season. In fact, Dow just got done with his Wednesday after practicing, and he said Antonio Williams is full go and has been since last week. So that is a huge shot in the arm for this Tiger team. I mean, honestly, I think he immediately makes the offense more of a threat, and I think getting him back is exactly what they need.
Absolutely, getting him back is going to be a big shot in the arm. He's one of your most productive receivers. Put him out there on the field with Tyler Brown and Bo Collins, who's probably playing a little bit better and he's getting credit for. And it gives Cade Clement three, reliable targets to look for in that passing game. He's been missed, man. He's absolutely been missed, and they're going to be well served getting him back this week.
Yeah, yeah. I agree with Michael here. The most ACC thing ever was Louisville losing to Pitt. And they honestly didn't just lose. I mean, they had their ass kicked up and down the field.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but it was not close. I went back and looked at the box score. You could tell just by looking at the box score, it was not close. I think they turned it over a few times and give Pitt some help, but that's a bad Pitt team, man. I know you're going on the road and playing up there, but that's one you got to win. If you got ACC championship aspirations, that is a game that you absolutely have to win. You cannot go up there and lose to that bad Pittsburgh team.
Yeah, exactly. Let's thank Hard Time for the super chat. Listen, a reminder, uh, you know, the super chats for the month of October all are going to Dallas All In Foundation for breast cancer research. So thank you so much, Harsha. If he had gotten the blessing he asked for, I believe he is talking to you, Jason.
He's talking to me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got to.
yeah. About his Clemson man cave. Yeah,
He does not live far from me. He asked me to come give it his blessing. I have not obliged yet. That's my bad. Also, my bad. I missed his. He did a super chat Monday night, and I didn't see it till after I had done ended the stream. So that's my bad too.
yeah, yes, sir. So yeah, over under injuries to well, let's see. We actually have this photo that was hidden. There it is. Yeah.
Oh, does that not take you back to Kevin Steele
Yes, it does.
punching something
Also,
and breaking his hand or whatever it was?
also, also, our good friend Larry Williams came off the top rope with his tweet. He said he wonders if Napier is going to sign his cast.
No, I missed that. That's hilarious. Hey, Larry's got a great sense of humor, man.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And then, if that wasn't good enough, if you are ever looking for a laugh, head on over to Gamecock Central and just check out their forum. This person said, at this point, I would be happy if we left the SEC. I don't care about the money. I want to outside 4-year run in 31 years. We have one division title and got blown out in the championship game. We are a program with lots of history and prestige. Let's just admit who we are. I know it would never happen, but I would swap with Clemson and rejoin the ACC at this point. They can deal with Tennessee, Florida, Georgia, LSU, etc. Fans every weekend, and we can at least be 8-14 every year. Play away if you must. I just want to win like we all do. I mean, if that doesn't sum up the Gamecock Nation, and I
It's got to be frustrating, man. I, one of my buddies is a diehard Gamecock fan and has been all his life, and he's very involved with the program and the collectives and stuff. And sometimes he starts talking about second line football, you can just see the frustration on his face, and you can't do anything with that. But that post on that message board post right there, the thing that sticks out to me about it is saying they would only go 8-4 in the ACC every year. I thought if they were in the SEC, they'd be a 10-win team every year. Isn't that the narrative that they push year in and year out?
exactly. The ACC sucks and the SEC is king. So hell, they should be ACC champs. 3 out of every 4 years, and get into this new playoff. But it is insane there. I mean, how high they were after, you know, their how close they played Georgia, and they are a joke of a team and fan base.
and it doesn't get any easier for them. You know, I mean, they've got a tough road to hoe. They go to Missouri, to Texas A&M. You got the gimme against Jacksonville State. Then you host Vanderbilt. After that, you host Kentucky and Clemson. I mean, I see 2 for certain wins on there, but all the rest of them games, I could see them losing every one of them. You know, they're not very good along the lines of scrimmage. That defense is not very good. They got some issues on that team, man. They got a lot of holes, and they are wasting a hell of a season from Spencer Rattler.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. Let's see. Hard times says I see Randall turning around. My years and knee surgeries are tough to get over mentally. Look, we have heart and heart and heart on Alan Randall and how disappointed he has been this season. I mean, yeah, honestly, the getting Antonio back this week, I think that makes it significantly uh, significantly more difficult for Randall to see the field because you have Salah who's come on, you have Tyler Brown, you have now Antonio, you have Collins. I mean, there is only, so many wide receiver spots that you have. And so, if he doesn't turn it around, I could see this being his last season in Clemson U.
I do not. If you just look at the number of snaps he's played the last 2 games, I think he's played 15 combined in the last 2 games. Or if it's not, maybe I don't have it right on the head, but it's somewhere around 15, 8 and 7, or maybe 8 and 9. I can't remember. Less than 10 in each of the past 2 games. Now you got Antonio coming back. He's gonna have limited opportunities to get it turned around. I think if he's gonna turn it around, it's gonna have to be during the off season, during the spring, next fall camp. I've had somebody tell me that he just does not have the same look in his eye that he had when he got there last spring when he was a freshman. You know, whatever he's been through, he just does not have the same look anymore. And we'll see if he can push through and get back to what they were expecting him to be before those injuries. I agree. It can be hard coming back from ACL, throw the other knee, whatever he had done to that other knee, after last season on top of that. So he's had something done to both knees now. But if he comes back, I would lean more towards it being next year rather than this year. He's been a non-factor, man. It's going to take a lot for them to give him those kind of opportunities again this year.
Yeah. Dow has said that he thought, they should have gotten him in the games more than they have. But honestly, you're not getting the production from him, so you have to turn to someone else.
Yeah, agreed. You're not getting anything from him, man. It's kind of right now. Let's be brutal truth. He's kind of just wasting a spot on the field if you got him out there because you don't know if he looks like he's playing very timid to me when he's out there, and he's not going. Let's just say he's not playing wide open at all times. He looks very timid, and I don't know if it's mental. I don't know what it is. He just does not look like the dude I seen in high school. I know that, but again, if he gets that thing back, man, I would lean more towards it being next season. And with you get Brian Wesco in here and TJ Moore next year, I mean,
yeah, those are some
going to be
dudes.
harder to come by, man, because those guys are going to be pushing for immediate playing time, and both of those guys are going to bring everything that he was supposed to bring when he got here, and maybe more.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are plug and play. They are ready to go out of the oven. There is nothing left to cook on them. I do think that you start to see Williams, Brown, and Slot on the field at the same time. Because even though Williams and Brown are, both wide receivers, then, or I'm sorry, they are X receivers, you know, I think that you have to get your best guys on the field. And especially if Clemson wants a shot at the ACC championship, they can't afford to screw around and let a team, sneak up and get them that shouldn't.
Yeah, I agree. I think you're going to see. I think you're probably going to see Antonio playing outside some, Tyler Brown in the slot, Stellato on the field, Bill Collins on the field. But you got to have your best three guys out there when you're going with three wide receiver sets. Might start seeing with the lack of production you've seen from Brenny Stool, you might start seeing maybe we start seeing all four of those guys on the field, four wide
Mm,
receiver sets more often. We'll see what they dial up, but yeah, I would absolutely expect Tyler Brown and Antonio Williams to both be on the field at the same time.
yeah, I love this one. That was higher. I was told by Lane Cochran's that we hired a cheerleader. Now they hired Dara Light. I mean, look, that right there is all you need to know. I mean, how many stupid ass videos has he done, in the off season? It's like all they do is produce these dumb videos with him. And now he is going to be out of that. I mean, if your coach, look, I watched his press conference. I saw that he uh, was saying that he is he is he has passion, and that's why he kicked that thing or whatever he kicked. I mean, that's not passion, that's stupidity. I mean, that that is like the little kid who doesn't get his way and throws a temper tantrum and ends up getting hurt. I mean,
Yeah,
that
I think it's awfully ironic the way South Carolina fans used to, some of the things they used to say about Dabo Swinney, about him being a cheerleader and how cheesy he was, and now you got Shane Beamer there, who has taken the cheesy to a whole nother level with some of the stuff they put out on Twitter, some of those videos. Um, he's going to a level Dabo's not come close to reaching and doing it a lot longer than Shane Beamer has. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of ironic all that trash they talked in that regard. Now they got a guy like Shane Beamer as a head coach because they in some ways they are very similar in that regard. I mean, that just tickles me every time I think about it.
yeah. Yeah, and I also want to remind everyone that we are going to be giving away these shirts right there. And all you have to do to enter is just leave a comment. And you are entered in the drawing. We always do the drawing live right here at the end of the show. The winners from last week should have or should be receiving their stuff this week. And so let's see how many shirts we should give away tonight. All right, let's see here. Let's see.
Yeah, it's hard. Hey man, when you're cringier than a guy faking a Louisiana accent, man, that's saying something.
Yes, let's see. Yeah. I see Randall hitting the transfer portal. Great talent at early age. When I saw him, yeah, I think we have hit on Adam Randall so much that yeah, honestly, for me, it's just kind of reached the I am going to have to see it to believe it. Hard time getting into another super. Thank you. After that session yesterday, I already quit my job and go work for him. I know the haters are gonna hate me, to be honest. Yeah, I'm gonna hate. Yeah, I thought, that, look, he came off the top rope during his Tiger Call show Monday night, talking about the fans and that maybe they need to lose a couple of more games and get some of the fans there riding the wagon of success that Clemson's had over the last 7 or 8 years. And I think Tuesday he walked that back a little bit. I think he realized that hey, whether he was trying to uh, be funny or if he was trying to make a joke, that it wasn't perceived that way. And honestly, from doing these shows and Jason, you doing your shows and the business we are in, I really think that what he said about the 1.5 percent being the vocal minority is true. I think you have a fan base that's passionate. However, you have a portion of it that came along, in the 2015 season when Clemson really got it going. And they have all they have known is Clemson winning. And so they're a little spoiled.
I'll tell you what I see. And I would love to know the question that was asked on the radio show Monday night because I don't get to listen to it living over here. But I would love to know the question that was asked because I don't know what it was. But I tell you what I see. I see now after an entire bye week fans dragging players and assistant coaches and all that negativity that was spewed after the Wake Forest game. I see all that negativity squarely pointed at him now. Nobody's talking about the players. Nobody's talking about the assistants. Everybody's raking him over the coals for what he said about the fans. I see a head coach that's taking all that attention off of the poor performance of Wake, all that crap we saw during the bye week, and got that attention turned away from his players and his coaching staff and turned directly and pointed towards him now. So that's kind of the way I see it.
So are you saying that Dow was calculated?
Has he not done this each of the past couple of years? I
Yeah,
remember him doing it last year. I just can't remember if he did it the year before last, where he kind of took the fans to task a little bit when the team was right after a bad performance or something, and all of a sudden everybody's piling on him instead of piling on the players and coaches. It
yeah,
would not be out of character.
exactly. This is a guy that loves his team and loves his players, and so I think this is kind of his gun to I'm for it. oh man, I can take it. Yeah, that this is his way to steer the attention away from his players. And look, honestly, I think, from the interviews that we saw this week, you saw a more relaxed, uh, group of players. And also, you saw Dow, he was, honestly, he was in rare form Tuesday. He went like 52 minutes. And, you know, it, none of the questions were really, how are you going to fix this? How are you going to fix that? I think, he did a great job deflecting the attention off the players and the coaches and taking on for his team.
I am a firm believer that 99% of what he says has some kind of meaning behind it, and it is rarely ever for people in the media or the fans. It's usually some kind of message directed at his team, certain players, etc., whatever. Yeah, every now and then there's that 1% of the time maybe that's not the case, but 9 times out of 10, I think that is exactly what he's doing. There's some kind of message in what he's saying, and it's directed at the team or a certain player, maybe to use as motivation or to build the guy back up after somebody's suffering with maybe lacking some confidence or whatever. Um, and it just would not be out of character. But I thought he looked as relaxed as he's been all year yesterday. I
Mm.
thought he looked very relaxed, and some people take that as him not being as dedicated to winning as he was in the past. And I just don't know if that's true, man. I don't think there's anybody in that building wants to win more than that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he wants to win everything, whether it's pickleball with his son or, a game of horse. He wants to win. So let's talk about it for a second. Do you vote for FSU or do? This is very easy. You want FSU to load the doors off Duke. And
Yep.
here is why. Okay. So if you look at Duke's schedule, they need 3 losses. Okay. 2 losses don't do Clemson any good. So you need them to lose to Florida State and lose 2 other games, on this slate. The Honestly, the best chances for losses are the Louisville game and North Carolina game. Then jump to UNC, who, look, Clemson gets their chance against them. So, they only need a single loss. However, they also need to take care of Duke. Honestly, at the start of the season, I was thinking, Georgia Tech, is a cakewalk for these teams. Obviously, they can score points, and so now, I'm not saying UNC is going to lose Georgia Tech, but it sure would help Clemson out if they could go ahead and do that. And then they have to lose to NC State, which, let's be honest, NC State is garbage. I mean, they are a terrible football team. And
Don't forget, North Carolina's known they routinely drop one somewhere along the way that they shouldn't. So it
yeah,
wouldn't be surprising to see them lose to a Georgia Tech or North Carolina State.
yeah, yeah. I mean, if you are a fan of Clemson coaches, you want Tony Elliott to get his signature win this week. Now,
That would be a good start.
yeah. Now Louisville, honestly, heading into this last week, look to the Tigers. Yeah, uh, honestly, their biggest hurdle to making it to the ACC championship, because you look down their schedule and you're like, all right, that's a win, that's a win, that's a win. However, them going and crashing on the floor, against, Pitt was a blessing in disguise. So really, they can draw any one of these games except Duke. You need Duke to end up with 3 losses somewhere. And honestly, it doesn't matter where. They just need 3 losses. So FSU, honestly, it doesn't matter what they do. They aren't going to lose 3 times. So this is Clemson's, their way to the ACC championship. Obviously, they have to take care of their end of things. However, we see it every year. It used to be coastal chaos, and so yeah, I know that Georgia Tech and Wake Forest both sit ahead of Clemson right now in these standings, but they are non-factors. So this is what needs to happen. Jason, I want your honest thoughts on this. If you were to give a percentage on Clemson's chances of something like this happening, and then being in Charlotte that first weekend in December, what would you say?
50-50. 50-50. Now that Louisville's lost to Pitt, there's a clear path there, and you absolutely want Florida State to beat Duke this weekend because there are not 3 ACC losses on Florida State's schedule, and one of those teams need to lose 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not 50-50, maybe 40-60. But now that Louisville's lost to Pitt, you feel a little bit better about your chances because we're sitting here a week ago not thinking there was 2 losses on, maybe not being 2 losses on Louisville's ACC slate. But I'm not sure. After that
I
game last
mean,
week,
yeah, I mean, last week, we were sitting here talking about the chance of Louisville running the table.
yeah, exactly. We sitting here a week ago, not sure if they were going to lose 1, much less 2. But that Duke team, they still got to go. They still got to go to Louisville. That's on the road, and then they still play North Carolina. So it's feasible to see them dropping 3 games, knowing that Riley Leonard is still just a few weeks off of, a few weeks removed from a high ankle sprain that takes a lot of guys 6 weeks to come back from. I'm very interested to see how he's going to look because I fully expect him to play in this game Saturday.
Mm. Yeah, just looking at Louisville's remaining schedule, they are open this week, and then they host Duke, and then they are at home for Tech or Virginia Tech and Virginia, and then they travel to Miami on November 18th. So that second to last week of the season, I mean, that could be the game that decides whether Clemson is in or out.
For me, the biggest question is Clemson going to win out. The bigger question is Clemson going to win out because I kind of feel like Dabo Swinney said yesterday. I could see Clemson losing all those games that they got. I could see Clemson winning every game they got left on the schedule, but I could also see them dropping a few. Man, this team's not played outside of that Florida State game and that Syracuse game. We've seen some sloppiness, and this team's usually had trouble finding a way to stay out of its own way. That's something they got to be better at in the second half of this season. And losing Walker Parks was a big blow up front on that offensive line. They have struggled with the run blocking since he's been down, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can overcome that in the second half of the season.
All right, so let's look at Clemson's remaining schedule. Also, I'll go ahead and let everyone know that if you want to be entered in the drawings that we do every Wednesday, all you have to do is comment and you are automatically entered. So let's look at Clemson's remaining schedule. There is no pregame show this week, so this is kind of our look ahead. I guess a schedule prediction. So let's go ahead and go line by line. All right, Clemson at Miami this weekend, 3.5 point favorites. Do you like the Tigers to go down to Coral Gables and take care of business?
Absolutely. I think this is a reeling Miami team. And if some of the message board chatter is to be believed, Mario Cristobal has already lost his team. I've had several people sending me links from some message board talk that some of those guys are going into business for themselves. But, going back to him not kneeling on the ball against Georgia Tech. Yeah, this is a team Clemson should beat. This is a defense Clemson should have some success against. There's some talent on that defensive front, but that pass defense is susceptible. Clemson should be able to throw the ball on this team, no matter what kind of game plan they come out with. If they're dropping guys into coverage, which I know they did against North Carolina, you got to be able to hit short, intermediate stuff and draw those guys in, and then hit some stuff down the field. But again, this is a game I think Clemson should win.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I think Clemson. Look, you are just 2 weeks away from the first CFP rankings. I think that Clemson comes out and makes a statement this Saturday that they are not going anywhere and that they want that shot at FSU again. Now, all right, Duke and FSU. I think that if this game was in Durham, it could you put FSU on upset alert. FSU is too good right now. Duke goes down.
Yeah, agreed. I think Duke goes down too. I'm not convinced Riley Leonard is as healthy as it's been it's not enough time has passed since that injury, and that's something that's tough to overcome. I don't think he's going to be close to 100% advantage FSU, especially playing down there at Duke.
Yeah. UNC, UVA, I mean, you feel so strongly for Tony Elliott. everything that this UVA team went through last year with the death of the three players, and everyone, yeah, basically left him high and dry last season. You had Armstrong, uh, transfer out, and so as much as it hurts me to say it, I think you can see your roles in this one, and it's not even close.
Yeah, Hills are going to toe drag Virginia this weekend.
All right, Louisville, we just mentioned, is off this week, so their next game will be against Duke, and we just hit FSU. So let's kind of look at the remainder of Clemson's schedule. And I simply want you to give me a yes or no if Clemson is going to win. Miami,
Yep.
NC State,
Yep.
Notre Dame.
Yep.
I agree with you on that one. I think Notre Dame got exposed, against Louisville, and I think that this Tiger team has had that game circled on their calendar since they were shoved around last year up there. And so I think you see a hungry team. Georgia Tech.
Yep.
Yeah. UNC.
Now, that North Carolina team is playing really good football right now, but I just don't see them going into Clemson and winning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, especially if you get guys back that are supposed to be back this week, and if you can keep guys healthy like a Nate Wiggins, who I think, if look, Tez Walker is a problem for every team that they face. However, if you have a guy like Nate who can come in and lock down that side of the field, then it allows you to help, with safeties over the top and try to control uh, Tez Walker and Drake Hay.
According to Pro Football Focus,
I saw that.
quarterbacks have a 2.8 passer rating against Nate Wiggins this year. 2.8.
Yeah, and this is not golf, okay? So low scores don't win. Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is go to the FSU game.
And what he did to Keon Campbell.
He gets hurt, and who do the Seminoles go after? They target Keon Coleman, and he gets the job done. Sorry, I have a fly down here that is like just all over the place. All right, and then so ending the season at the Gamecocks. Honestly, this is a laughably atrocious Gamecock team. I think the only thing they could have going in their favor is they may have to, win this game to get to the toilet bowl or whatever game they hope to play in.
Yep, they might very well be playing for bowl eligibility when this one rolls around. But if there is one game on the schedule that Dabo Swinney absolutely wants to win, it is this one. After the way they lost that game last year, kind of gave it away, gave away that home winning streak in the process. I don't see Clemson going down there and losing this year.
Yeah, so that goes ahead and finishes out a 10-2 season. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think it's absolutely doable. Again, I think Duke and Louisville both kind of showed how to beat that Notre Dame team. Even though Duke didn't finish it off, they absolutely, stymied that Notre Dame offense. You slow that run game down, and you pretty much shut that Notre Dame offense down. I know they got Sam Hartman, but they don't got dudes at wide receiver like they've had in the past. They got a good tight end, but that passing game's not keeping opposing defensive coordinators up at night. It's that running game, and this Clemson defense been extremely good against the run. And North Carolina, Notre Dame, and North Carolina to me are the two biggest obstacles standing in Clemson's way of finishing the regular season at 10-2.
yeah, so let me ask you this: if I was to tell you Clemson would go 10-2 this season and not play for an ACC championship, would you consider the season a success?
Uh, Probably not. I had this team pegged to be competing for a playoff spot. I thought Cade Cullum was going to be a little bit further along than he is. I wouldn't call it a major disappointment or anything like that, but I did expect more from this Clemson team this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can still lose to Notre Dame. And, yeah, honestly, the way this team got handled last year, they have had this game circled for a long time. And so, yeah, it is going to be very, very interesting to see in 2 weeks where the first rankings have Clemson. Because, they're just sitting outside the top 25 this week. And, you if anything, the committee has shown us in the past they are not scared to rank teams completely different than the coaches and AEP polls. And so LSU is sitting there still, the exact same record and, the exact same strength of schedule almost. And they have losses the same teams. And, I think that you could see Clemson in the 17 or 18 spot.
Yeah, I had to take my dad somewhere the other day. Somebody must be in the yard, and my dad's he's 75 plus, and he is a guy that absolutely never brings up the polls, right? And he's like, Jason, what the hell is wrong with the people that vote in the polls? You can't convince me all those teams in the top 25 are better than Clemson. So yeah, it is going to be interesting to see where they vote Clemson in when their initial rankings come out, because I think you go down and take care of business this weekend and do what you need to do, and as long as you don't unexpectedly drop a game, I think they'll be inside that top 25.
Yeah. Yeah. And also, let's think about this. Okay. If she runs the tail and they get one of the first CFP spots, then Clemson just needs to get, I think, into the top 12, isn't it? By the end of the season. And they are going to New Year's Six.
They could, yeah. The way it works, they could go to a. If you're in the top 12, you're very likely going to end up in a New Year's Six bowl. So
Mhm. Let's see. Daniel says 10-2 is definitely disappointing. 10 games is always a good season. I expected the offense playing that. Yeah. I think, that honestly, the 10-2 uh, record, if Clemson can run the tail, is a impressive feat to keep that streak going. It'll guarantee you get into, that we aren't sending Jason by Amtrak out to El Paso or something for a ball game. But, I think that if they can get to that 10 or they have to be considered a contender next year. I mean, the offense is going to improve. The defense, honestly, they are a top 5 defense right now. And so, I think that 10 wins are a lot of you may be disappointed with it. I think that, that it could be a string to a huge 24 season when the playoffs does expand.
oh man, I expect this team to take a big jump next year. No matter what they do the rest of the way, whether they finish 10-2 or 8-4 or whatever. You've got some young guys in key spots. You lost a key contributor along the offensive line, and you still got a very young quarterback who's just in his first season of starting. He's still a sophomore, who is growing every week, and a quarterback who has an extremely high ceiling. I know you lose a lot off of that defense, but with the guys they brought in last year in that recruiting class, especially up front on that defensive line, and some of the guys that are already, in place behind some of the starters, I think the defense is going to be fine. And you look at the skill guys they're bringing in this current class, those two receivers, that running back David Ajamame. Um, I think this offense has a chance to be one of the better ones in the country next year because this you're gonna have a year under Garrett Riley under your belt. All that growing pains are gonna be behind you, and you're gonna have more talent to work with come next season. So I'm with you. I think this year's a springboard into next year, no matter what happens the rest of the way, really. But I would fully expect this team to compete for a playoff spot next year, even if it was still a 14 playoff. But you absolutely expect it with it being a 12-team playoff next year.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the only thing that could hold this team back is if Dow continues to call the plays.
Yeah. Hey, that would that would send Garrett Riley running out of town real quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I was watching your show Monday and we were discussing this before our show tonight. Yeah, Garrett Riley does not leave TCU, and really, I mean, he had his, he could have named his job last year after the success that he had. I mean, he doesn't leave to come here and have Dallas may override him in quality plays.
Yeah, there is no way. There is no way he leaves TCU and comes to Clemson knowing that he's got to run the same offense Clemson ran last year, or knowing that Dabo Swinney's going to have his hands all in the play calling. The only way you get him to come on board is if you give him the keys to the car. That's it. There's no in between. There's no in the middle. That's not saying Dabo never has any input, because he's the head coach. Absolutely is going to have some input, but he's not sitting here calling, a bunch of plays, man, just because he's walking around with a play sheet in his hand. That there's more than plays on that thing, man. That's not all that's on there. There's all kind of situational stuff on there, 2-point conversion stuff, third down stuff, all kind of stuff. But there's no way Garrett Riley comes here under those conditions.
Yeah, I think a lot of the flat earthers, the people that believe that stuff, they are the same ones who will argue up and down with you that the earth is flat, that the man never landed on the moon. I mean, here is the thing, okay? Garrett Riley is calling every single play except for fourth down decisions. Those come from the head coach. And I think, where he'll think that Dabo is calling these plays and not letting, or has not let Riley call his offense, is he said, that they kind of, merge some of the terminology to fit, with Clemson's offense. And look, all that is making life easier for the players. I mean, it didn't mean that they kept Clemson's offense and said, "Here, Gary, you can run 70% yours. This is the 30 you're going to keep." I mean, obviously, Clemson had some stuff that worked, so Garrett Riley may have kept some stuff and implemented it into his offense. But all that I was saying is some of the terminology that Garrett Riley had, they tweaked to make it more Clemson friendly.
So, some of that goes back to a comment he made before the Duke game too, when they asked him about Garrett Riley's offense, and Dabo says the Clemson offense. I don't care who's running the offense at Clemson. Dabo's going to call it the Clemson offense.
Yeah.
Garrett Riley was hired to come to Clemson to overhaul the Clemson offense and install a new offense for Clemson. They will be using it very likely after he's gone. He is revamping the Clemson offense, redoing the Clemson offense, retooling the Clemson offense. But Dabo's going to always call it the Clemson offense. I don't care who's calling the plays or who's, coming up with the playbook. He's going to always refer to it as the Clemson offense.
As he should. You don't want your identity tied to one person.
Especially a coordinator who might not be here in 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the same thing as Chad Morris when he got here. That offense was so, it was 180 degrees from what you had seen out of, Billy Napier. And that was still called the Clemson offense. Because it has to be tied to the culture and the team and not the person. So all you guys that are out there going, Dabo needs to put the play sheet away. Look, he has had that play sheet since, he came to Clemson. And honestly, look at all the coaches. They all have them.
Almost all of them do.
They're all tucked in their, hands or hanging on a chain. It just helps them to know what is being called, and also so they can kind of know, all right, here is what we could be doing based on the down and distance. So I want to make sure if you're CJ Spiller that you have, Shipley or Rafa in there a for a uh, particular series.
You are saying what I tried to say Monday night in a much better way. Far more accurately than I was able to do it on the fly Monday night.
Yeah, well, I was watching one day and I try every now and then. I'll, I slide into the chat and try to clear up some stuff. But, you had so many flat earthers on there. And this could be the biggest kicker right here is Garrett Riley. Not only has he said he's running the offensive his personnel, he has said that there are times this year when it's like he is playing with just 10 guys. And, even I think was it Miller this week or was it Tate?
Tate.
Yeah. Yeah, he said he understands exactly what that he meant. He said you have four guys doing things great, and if one guy messes up, it's going to look bad. And so I think that whether that is a developmental issue or if it's a coaching issue, and you have your players echoing, what Garrett Riley said, you have to believe that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, people wanted it to look exactly like what they saw at TCU last year. And Garrett Riley had a fifth-year senior at quarterback last year at TCU. Right now, he's got a sophomore that's started 7 games now. Big difference there. And probably
Also, let's look. They played in the arguably worst defensive conference. I mean, you are going to, you know, every team in the Big 12 is scoring points and putting up huge numbers because they don't play any damn defense.
Yeah, that's been another adjustment. I think the defense in the ACC is better than what you're seeing in the Big 12 on a week-to-week basis.
Yes, it is. Well, I tell you what, let's go ahead and give away some shirts, Jason.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's see here if I can share my screen. All right, let's say 2 shirts tonight. And here we go. Hey. Alright, let's try again.
I think we need to run that one back.
All right, Michael, you are winner number one. And SC country. So if you can email or DM Jason,
Email me right there at that email address right there.
that's right. All you need is your shirt size and your address, and we will get your stuff to you. So, yeah, heading into this week's games, yeah, there is no show Friday. So let's go ahead and give me your Wednesday night score prediction.
I hadn't even really thought about this so much. I'm
Yeah,
saying this based on I might change it by the time Friday rolls
yeah,
around.
yeah. I was gonna say, I just holding you to this. All right.
I think Clemson's offense is going to bounce back. I don't think they're going to go down there and drop 40 on Miami or anything, but I think they're going to play well. And I think that defense is going to play well. I think Clemson wins by 10, 11, 10, 14 points. Give me 28-17, Clemson.
Really, I was going to say 31-17. So, yeah.
Like mine. You know, we think alike.
That's right. See, I just have a little more faith in Jonathan Weiss than you.
Hey, they need to get him going.
Yes, they. All right. Thank you all, everyone who joined. Hard time. Thank you so much for the supers. As a reminder, all super chat donations for the month of October are going to Davos All In Foundation to support breast cancer research. Jason, have an awesome weekend. And in case you need a reminder, here it is for you. Who you need to lose, who you need to win. So basically, this weekend, you're looking at FSU and UNC. So those are your, FSU and if Tony Elliott's UVA team can get it together, we'll see. But thank you all so much for joining us tonight. Jason will be back on Monday for his show. We'll be back on Wednesday to do this again. And I think Brad will have the game recap. So we have you covered on allclemsontires.com. Subscribe, like us, hit the notification thing so you never miss a video. Thank you all so much for your support and go Tigers.